Hello, everybody. Good evening. Debjit here. Today, I'm going to speak about some of the most important economic problems faced by our country, India. India is one of the fastest growing economies in the world. It has made major progress in technology, industry, infrastructure, and global trade. However, despite this growth, the country still faces several serious economic challenges. These problems affect not only the economy but also the daily lives of millions of people. The first major issue is unemployment and underemployment. Every year, a very large number of young people enter the job market. However, the number of quality jobs created is not enough to absorb them all. As a result, many educated youth remain unemployed. At the same time, many others are forced to work in low paying, insecure, or informal jobs that do not match their skills or qualification. In rural India, underemployment and disguised unemployment are also common, especially in agriculture. This means that many people may appear to be employed, but their contribution to productivity is very low because there are more workers than actually needed. This reduces income and keeps many families economically weak. Moving on to the second major concern is poverty and income inequality. Even though India has made progress in reducing poverty, a significant part of the population still struggles to afford basic needs such as proper food, healthcare, education, and housing. At the same time, income and wealth are not distributed equally. A small section of society controls a large share of resources, while many others continue to live with limited opportunities. This growing gap between the rich and the poor creates social imbalance. It can also slow down overall development because when large sections of the population do not have access to education, healthcare, and productive employment, the country cannot fully use its human potential. Another important issue is inflation. Inflation refers to a continuous rise in the prices of goods and services. When prices increase, the purchasing power of money falls. This means that people can buy fewer goods and services with the same income. In India, rising prices of food, fuel, cooking gas, and transport particularly affect middle class and low income families. For poorer households, inflation is especially painful because a major part of their income is spent on essential items. When prices rise sharply, they are forced to reduce spending on health, education, or nutrition, which affects their quality of life. The next major concern is the condition of agriculture. A large part of India's population still depends on agriculture for livelihood. However, agricultural productivity remains low in many regions. Farmers face a number of problems, such as dependence on rainfall, small and fragmented land holdings, rising input costs, debt, and lack of access to modern technology, irrigation, and storage facilities. Because of these difficulties, many farmers face financial insecurity. Rural distress often pushes people to migrate to cities in search of jobs, which increases pressure on urban areas as well. Another serious challenge is population pressure. India has one of the largest populations in the world. While a large population can be advantage if properly educated and employed, it also creates tremendous pressure on the resources and public services. There is more demand for jobs, schools, hospitals, houses, transportation, water, and energy. If population growth is not matched by equal growth in infrastructure and unemployment and employment opportunities, it can lead to overcrowding, unemployment, and lower living standards. Infrastructure deficiency is another obstacle to economic growth. India has improved in many areas such as highways, airports, mobile connectivity, and digital services. However, many gaps still remain in transport systems, electricity supply, logistics, sanitation, and urban planning. Poor infrastructure increases production and transportation costs, reduces efficiency, and makes businesses less competitive. India also faces fiscal deficit and trade deficit problems. A fiscal deficit happens when the government spending is greater than government revenue. A trade deficit happens when imports are more than exports. Since India imports large quantities of crude oil, electronics, and gold, the trade deficit often remains high. These imbalances can create pressure on the economy and make economic management more difficult. In addition, corruption and weak governance continue to affect development. Corruption, delays in decision making, leakages in public spending, and inefficient administration reduce the impact of government policies. These issues also discourage private investment and slow down development projects. Finally, India must improve the quality of education, healthcare, and skill development. Human capital is one of the greatest strengths of any nation. Without quality education and healthcare, people cannot become fully productive. A strong economy depends not only on industries and infrastructure, but also on healthy, educated, and skilled citizens. To conclude, India has immense potential because of its young population, growing economy, and technological progress. But to achieve sustainable and inclusive growth, the country must address unemployment, poverty, inflation, agricultural problems, population pressure, infrastructure gaps, and governance issues. Only then can India ensure better opportunities and a higher quality of life for all its people. Thank you.